Cradle, Dogs of Fount, Chapter 30, Part 3. He was going to have to break some eggs by being late to work today, he saw. Let's both of us go to the study now, and I'll explain it to them with you there so they know I'm serious. Fine. It was payday, and the clock was steadily getting to the end of the shift, yet Porter had a ton of dishes left, and presently he was stuck on one for far too long. There was a piece of fish bone stuck to the plate with a small wad of catfish fat. The kitchen was dark as half of the ceiling lights were off because the cooks had already served the last orders and cleaned the flat grill and pot burners. In fact, he was in the kitchen alone save Jack in his office in the back, who was filling out the nightly paperwork. Porter decided to use his nail to pry the bit of food off the plate and got it off the plate and under his own nail. After that, he cleaned the dishes with the quality Chef Jack would accept and washed the sink and counters down. He put his dirty white apron on the hook and ran his fingers through his hair as he walked down the counter length to the office. "Here you go, kid," Chef Jack said as he handed Porter his check. You sure you gotta quit on me again?" "You know I'm not quitting, Jack. I'm on weekend duty," Porter answered. "Yeah, Port, you said that last time." "Chef Jack, you got my word." Porter smiled as he walked away toward the alley door, back by the sinks. The grand bodega on the corner by Scottman Field was bustling. The college kids and musicians were buying beer and gin, the old men cigars and cigarettes, and the girls chewing gum in wine coolers in the little bottles that fit in their purses. There was a separate line for check cashing, and there were two dusty and paint-splattered men ahead of Porter. He made it out of there in a little over 12 minutes, but he was going to get to Mike's house in Dillard Park late for a couple of kids. However, he'd play innocent if Mike's mom answered the door. The bus was lively with young, drunk people. Porter had been listening to the radio, but the yells and hoots and laughter interrupted him plenty of times. It was no bother, however, because it was a mission accomplished with 40 credits to spare. It came together as much as anything could after his mother died. Anything to forget it was becoming a mantra under the surface of the boy's gumption. It seemed overly dark once he made it to Dillard Park, and it was quiet and eerie. The party people wouldn't have been fun here. This was a suburb for raising family and old people to relax in their latter years. It had to be 75 degrees, but the chill in the air was just unusual enough for Porter to put on his hoodie. He stowed it in his backpack this morning after he told Dad he was working, and Dad said he better not see Porter with only a shirt on when he got home. Knocking on Mike's door at this time was the most stressful 10 seconds he'd experienced in recent memory. The door opened slowly and Mike's mother yawned. She didn't look upset, but she didn't look like she expected a young boy at the door at this time by himself. "Evening, Mrs. Josh," Porter said with his wide smile. "Evening, Porter." "Yeah, my brother is parked down the street. I'm just here to pick up something me and Mike were working on for school." "Okay, Porter, let me get him for you," she said and closed the door without looking back at Porter. A few crickets seemed to laugh at Porter in the silence as he was waiting for the next problem to unfold. Surprisingly, the door opened and it was just Mike, and that meant there'd be no more scrutiny. "Hey," Porter said. "Yo." Porter handed him the cash, and Mike counted it and held it up to the porch light above them just to see what bills they were, not if they were counterfeit. At least Porter assumed. Mike nodded and put the cash in his back pocket and brought out a rolling suitcase. He rolled it onto the porch and left the handle up for Porter. "Bring the suitcase back on Monday. It's my dad's," Mike explained. "Okay, thanks." Porter took the suitcase and started rolling back to the darkness of the street. Now, in his room, with the bottom of his feet aching, he sat down and tried to calm down after the trip home. He was used to riding the bus, but today felt extremely long. He pushed all his action figures to the right side of his chest dresser and brought over the wooden chair from the corner of his room in front of the foot of the bed.